Estás viendo Canal América, televisión dominicana para el mundo.
A Time for True show is sponsored by the Office of Dr. Bernard Fialkoff, a periodontal, dental implant and laser specialist in New York City, for over 40 years. Dr. Fialkoff was honored by the International College of Dentists and Pierre Fauchard, and received the Presidential Lifetime Humanitarian Honor from the White House. Call us at 718-229-3838.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got. But the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your fears.
Welcome back to A Time for Truth show. I'm your host, Dr. Bernard Fialkoff. It's a pleasure to be back with you again. Beautiful summer. We're really having great weather. Can't complain. And this is your space, the space where you connect, where you find all the newest discoveries, innovations, and all the resources are available. And tonight, we have a tremendous show and a very important resource, because we're going to talk about stress. We're going to talk about those things that bother us, that we'd like to get rid of, but it doesn't seem like there's any way of doing it. And sometimes we fall into dismay. And it's important that we have hope, because when we lose hope, a lot of things just start skidding down like a mountain full of ice, and you just pick up speed, and it's not a good ending. But tonight we're going to have a good ending, because we're going to have a good beginning. And I'm going to introduce you to something that has to do with actually handling those negative, charged emotions when you say, you know, I don't want to deal with that anymore. You know, Dr. Ben, let's do that another time. And tonight we're very lucky to have a special guest with us, Mr. Pat Hatchell. And Buddha, if you will, there you go, you read my mind. This is a sign of the lecture. Mr. Hatchell brings a background built on discipline, leadership, and real-world results. He's a dynamic speaker, sports enthusiast, an entrepreneur with many years of experience, and he has a down-to-earth demeanor, humor, and ability to create meaningful connections. And that equips him and equips his audience with practical tools and a focus on how to succeed in life. He earned a degree in mathematics and was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the U.S. Army Reserves, where he served for 10 years and rose to the rank of captain. In his professional career, he's worked with Fortune 100 companies in engineering, manufacturing, supervision, sales, you name it. We could go on and on and on, take up the whole show on all the things that he's done. Over the past decades, he's worked directly with individuals, helping them with stress, with fears, with personal challenges through one-on-one work. And, you know, Buddha, let's bring him up live. He's right here next to me, and been a warm welcome to Pat Hatchell to A Time for Truth show. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time out.
I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Well, thank you. You know, we have a lot to share, so I want to get moving. Mm-hmm. And first, I wanted to ask about you, the man, you, the human being, Pat Hatchell. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about how your early years shaped who you became.
Right. So, you know, I grew up in your typical American family. I was born in New York. I was raised in a two-parent household, father, mother, and they always stressed values of going to school, getting a good education, getting a job. And, making something out of yourself. So I did that. Also, we had a strong religious background. Parents were both into the church and heavy into the community. So I did all of that, went to college, went to a university, and as you stated so eloquently, I got a degree in mathematics and had great jobs, but I was always looking for more. I always had questions, always had answers. Always looking for answers and things like that. So I started on a road of discovery, personal development, learning about truth and help and things like that. And over 30 years ago, as you stated, I've been helping and dealing with people to help them with their, outside of my professional, help people with stress, fears, anxieties, help people relieve themselves of that and lead and become more productive and have happier and more stable and better lives.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. It's funny because we have a similar background. And I, for many years, was searching and looking and wasn't really happy. I was valedictorian in my dental school class, but to be honest with you, that didn't mean that I had the answers in life, like you said. And I was, like you, looking for answers and how to succeed. And, many people view success in so many different ways. I wanted to ask you a question because we're going to talk about something called Dianetics tonight. And first, I guess, what does Dianetics actually mean so that we start out with a foundation? What is Dianetics?
So Dianetics is a word that's dia. The first part of the word means soul, and nos is
through, huh?
Through
the soul.
Right. Or what the mind is doing, what the mind is doing to the soul, to the body. And that's the simplicity of the word Dianetics.
Well, it's very interesting because intuitively, so many of my friends and my family and myself, really, we kind of thought that, but we kind of went away from it. So Dianetics through the mind, through the soul. Interesting. Okay. And so I was going to ask you this now is, so many people define success in different ways. Some of them do it with money. Some of them do it with what they own. Some of them with their position, and others differently. What is the definition in Dianetics of what is really success?
So I think success can be simply summed up as one's survival towards pleasure, to keep it simple. Because if you look at the scale, you have survival and pleasure at the top, and then at the bottom you have death and pain, right? If you're going towards survival and pleasure, that's success. To keep it real simple, not talking about money, not talking about fame, notoriety, and all those things, is the ability to have pleasure and move towards survival versus towards death.
It makes so much sense because I was talking to my wife the other day, and we were talking about how so many people pursue financial goals. And there's nothing wrong with money because money helps you to get things. But, we were talking and I said to her, as you get older and you go, well, where am I going to take this money to? Because I'm not taking it with me. And you start looking at it and you go, what you were just saying is the actual spiritual side of you and that bank account. What's in that spiritual bank account for you, for me? And that's what you're saying, right?
Yep, absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
Now, this book this is the book here you're talking about, right?
Yes, Dianetics, the modern science of mental health.
Yeah, look at that. And it's very interesting. I'll show this to the viewers. So we'll put it right here. It's a volcano. It's very interesting, erupting. So I guess that's like erupting the energy, the person coming out.
One could look at it in many different ways, but that's definitely a good way to look at it.
Well, what? It's a beautiful cover.
It is.
And, so 75th anniversary. Wow. So it's been around a while.
Yep.
And for those viewers who are watching the show, and they know the show is about truth, the show is about how to get ahead in life, how to be more serene. And so what I'm curious about, because I was looking this over, and it says something called the reactive mind. This part of the mind that, I guess, when you get really angry and you blow your stack, right? Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit, for those viewers out there, what is this reactive mind?
So this reactive mind can simply be summed up as pretty much anything irrational. I can break it down even further. Anything that you don't want. It's the home of anything that you're dealing with, your anxieties, fears, frustrations, anger, depression, lack of self-confidence, lack of self-esteem. Is the culmination of any irrational behavior and all unwanted emotions and unwanted things. Like, it's reactive, and it's totally, it's like it controls you. Like, you can't control it. Like, you see people doing things that don't make sense. That's the reactive mind. People commit crimes that know better. People on drugs. People beating, fighting, or abusing. Those are all irrational behaviors that are rooted in the reactive mind. So anything that's reactive, it's the reactive mind. It's a stimulus response based mechanism. Something happens, it triggers you to react. And usually it's not good. 99.9% of the time, it's not going to be good. It's going to be irrational, not rational.
Well, you know what? It reminds me of some incidents that I had. And, I've seen people also around me where, like you said, it's like something clicks or something. All of a sudden, you got a whole different person in front of you. Mm-hmm. And I've seen that a lot. Probably a lot of the viewers have seen that a lot. And so this Dianetics, is this something that you give talks about, or?
Yes.
Tell me.
Yes. So, number one, I'm a skilled professional in handling and relieving people of things dealing with the reactive mind. Seminars, one-on-one counseling, the whole 9 yards. And on weeknights, this Wednesday, actually, we do a free lecture for about an hour where we go over all the things that the reactive mind is doing, the science behind it, what causes it, and more importantly, how you can get rid of it.
Interesting. Now, where's that going to be located?
So this Wednesday, it's going to be at the Church of Scientology Community Center in Harlem on 228 East 225th Street in Harlem at 7 p.m. Wednesday night.
Interesting. Okay. And, so you mentioned Scientology. What's the derivation of that? Because that's like a very interesting word. What is the derivation of that word?
So skio means knowledge.
Knowledge.
And ology is study of. So it's basically study of knowledge, knowing how to know in simplest terms. And I tell my friends and family, it's an applied religious philosophy, and it deals with people as a spiritual being, but mainly it's knowing how to know.
Well, it's interesting. It's like the Nike commercial. You just do it.
Right.
So it's like applied. It's not some kind of like hoping something's going to happen. You're really going to do something. You have something that's going to work. It's like, if you're going to hit a golf swing, Jack Nicklaus, you wanted to go 300 yards down the golf course, you got to swing this way.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Very interesting. So it's like a set procedure.
Yep.
Interesting. And so now, since you give these talks and you've done this, without mentioning any name, did you ever have someone come in who just was like really upset about something or depressed about something? Can you give us a little kind of an idea, a story?
I mean, the stories are amazing. Like people, so the lecture itself, we don't necessarily get into anything that night per se. We just go over the information. Folks come back for a seminar, or they come back for an introductory session where they actually sit down with a counselor and handle stuff. But I personally have take a person in and 2 hours later, they might have been in grief over the loss of a loved one. And within 2 hours, maybe less, maybe more, depending on how impactful it is for them, they're out of this grief and into a cheerful state and able to move on and function without this affecting them anymore. Like they just don't have to worry about that anymore. But people come in, we have pictures of people that do the seminar, and like you said, so on a Monday or Wednesday night when we do the lecture, this person can come in and they're all like, but then they do the weekend seminar, which is more intense, where they're actually doing a lot of the procedures, and you see the pictures after the graduation, because they graduated, have a certificate. It's like they're glowing, like smiles from here to here, like beaming. Like
It's like you took the shackles off.
yeah, it's amazing. I'll send you some of the photos. I should have sent you those photos. And I'm thinking about actually adding them to the lecture at the end as well, just to show people the after photos, because these aren't people that didn't know anything about it maybe a week or two prior, and they came in and they experienced it. Then they did the seminar, or they did a session, and it was like a totally reversal of how they were, as you stated, before they had came in and got the information.
Wow. It's the picture that came to mind as you were talking. It's like what happens when you just have the dirt. I mean, you planted a seed, and all of a sudden this plant comes out, and the flowers come, and it's like a miracle. Well, I got to ask you something. This must make you feel really gratified, no?
It really does. One of the things, as I stated when you asked me the first question, I like helping people, and with these like Dianetics, it's the modern science of mental health. It's a science as well, like we both talk about Scientology. So it works, and it's like if you're helping someone and like you're doing something that doesn't work, you're not really going to help them. You might cheer them up for a minute, like you give them a pep talk. But if you actually do something that helps people, it helps you. As you know, you help a lot of people. So yes, it's very rewarding. These lectures, I see people come in, and like you said, they come in one way. By the end of what we offer, they leave another way. And then when I do one-on-one counseling, which I've done for over 10 years, it's amazing, the before and after effects. And it's like when, as we say, when they're floating and feeling real good, so am I. Like I'm watching this person come from here to here in a short amount of time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. As you were talking, since I'm a 46-year surgeon, one of the things that I saw about 3 years ago, the Surgeon General of the United States, Vivek Murthy, MD, came out with a study that he had done, and very interesting, because as you were talking, I realized that he came out with a scientific study, because he was finding that people in the United States were reacting to their social interaction or lack of social interaction. And what Dr. Murphy, the Surgeon General, actually published, and it's online, you can get on the crisis of loneliness and isolation in the U.S. And it's very interesting because he said that the isolation and loneliness, much more than just emotional and mental, he was finding that it was causing physical disease.
Wow.
And he actually found that people were getting heart disease, diabetes, dementia that so many people are worried about. And this is from a social interaction. And this is what blew my mind, because as you're talking to me about Dianetics and the energy in the mind, and he said that the lack of a good social interaction, the lack of it, was equivalent to smoking 10 to 15 cigarettes per day.
Wow.
And I said,
wow.
I can't be. But you know what? That actually makes so much sense now, because you said about modern science, that's what Dr. Murphy was pretty much saying. He was recommending a lot of community interactions and the importance of our relationships, which is what you're saying. So then, for the viewers watching, aside from getting the Dianetics to help themselves, what would be the importance of how they interact then? Because if this is reactive mind, what are some things that they should avoid in their life if it gets into a really heated situation?
Well, I mean, that could be anything. Like, because if it's something dealing with the reactive mind, it's control. Like isolation alone is what I would deem as a reactive mind thing. Because we are typically people that want to be part of groups.
Social human beings.
Exactly. Our family, our job, our church, our baseball, softball, whatever civic activities. And if you don't want to do anything and you just want to be home on your phone, mostly more than likely, or watching TV, there's something reactive that happened. But it's all kind of what we call re-stimulators that are in the environment that could trigger something and make a person act like that. Like the only way you could really handle and resolve it is like come in and kind of like have a conversation with somebody and say, hey, I've got this, I have this feeling of anxiety or whatever, and I want to handle it. And we say, okay, let's go and have some counseling and handle it, like, or attempt to handle it or whatever, depending on how insisted it is or encrusted. But we start diving right in to handle solutions. Because the thing to answer your question, anything could trigger you. If you're reactive, you get, like I said, re-stimulated. Something could have happened and you hear a bus or a horn and you react.
It reminds you of that.
Yeah, it triggers. It's a trigger that something that happened
in your past,
Yep.
and now all of a sudden you're like, or
Yep.
some music that's playing,
Yep.
or somebody's voice, or,
Yep.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Makes a heck of a lot of sense. Now, let me ask you a question, because you're trained in it. So let's say one of the viewers out here says, I want to get some of this, but you know what? I would love to help my family member. I want to help one of these friends of mine who lost somebody in their life. So can you train to do this? Is there training at this Church of Scientology for this?
Absolutely. So there's definitely training. Like I've done all my training at the church, like as a professional.
What's the title called of this person?
So to do this you would be a Hubbard Dianetics Auditor.
An auditor. And
Yes.
what does auditor mean?
Auditor means one who listens. So basically, I give you an instruction or a command, and I just listen. I don't evaluate it. I don't recommend.
You don't tell me what to think.
No.
I come up with my own system.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I like that. I don't like to be told what.
Yeah.
I don't like to be told what to
And
say.
who does?
I don't think anybody.
Who does? Even if they say they do, I don't believe it.
Probably not.
I don't believe. But the key thing too, this book, it's been a bestseller for 75 years because when it was released in 1950, people could buy this, read it in the comforts of their own home, and their husband and wives could take each other.
They can help each other.
They can help each other.
Well, you know what? It's interesting because just with the mere hope of being able to help a fellow human being,
Yep.
especially in a family, because families can get really heated. The more love, the more explosion can occur. That sounds really good to me because it's like a way of controlling that I had something I didn't like and now I can control it. That's amazing.
But we take the excuses away where if you don't want to come into the center and do it or buy the book, get your wife, your son, your daughter, your friend, significant other, whatever, y'all read it and do it with each other.
You can do it. You can even learn at home.
Yep.
And they sell. Now, I know for me, as much as I love books, I love like DVD and things
Yep.
like that. So it's available in DVD or CD or
So audio book.
all that stuff.
There's a DVD set that we play some of the excerpts from at the
With
lecture.
examples, you mean? Has
Oh my
examples.
God, it's unbelievable.
And where would they, if for those viewers watching out there, I mean, they can go to the Harlem Community Center
Yes.
on 125th Street. Where else? They can go online to get this? or what?
Dianetics.org. Yes, if you social media, if you put in Dianetics, he'll start getting ads and different things on how to procure it and go to different seminars depending on where you're located and things like that. But definitely Dianetics.org. It's got to be .org. That's the site that's
nonprofit group.
Right.
Dianetics.org.
Right.
And you know what? A lot of people out there probably saying, you know what? I've been stuck at this plateau. I've been like, I don't know, I feel like I'm not as enthusiastic as I used to be years ago. And I kind of resign myself that maybe I'm just getting older. How does this do with those kind of plateaus? Going to change them?
It definitely. Again, there's a graph in here that shows, like I was talking about, the survival potential and death.
Yes.
And it starts across the top where a person's 10 years old. And he's at the top going towards survival and gradually starts going down. And then about 70, he's really down. But the goal of Dianetics is to push you back up towards survival.
Well, you know what? I tell you what, a lot of people out there are probably going to get excited already because they're getting more energy, break the plateau, look younger. This almost seems too good to be true. I'm going to have to grab this thing from you here. And you know what? I guess the best thing is to find out for yourself, check it out. And like all great things, unfortunately, the time is almost out on the show. And I want to ask you, here we are at the end. So the viewers probably, what would you want to tell them? What is the concluding remark of what you would really like them to take home from this first show on Dianetics?
Well, I mean, if you have any of the things, if you've experienced any of the things I've mentioned, anxiety, stress, fear, blah, 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 and you don't want them, some people want this stuff. But if you don't want them, come see for yourself. Come to the center, get a book, go online, get the book, but get this book, and help yourself. And if take one further, help someone else. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, is helping yourself and helping others.
Absolutely. You know what? It seems really like simple, but I know I know when I do what you say, it works. It works.
It does.
Yeah, I feel better helping somebody. You know? And
yeah.
Not always just doing something I'm getting paid.
Correct.
Or my job.
I don't get paid for this.
You're an amazing guy.
Yeah.
You know what? Unfortunately, I know the viewers would want to keep you here longer. I'm going to have to bring you back another show. Will you come back if I invite you?
Absolutely. I'm happy. I'm enjoying this.
Well, I've had a great time.
Me too.
And thank you for sharing.
You're very welcome.
As you say, Wednesday night next week.
This Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
We've been doing them on Mondays, but we moved it because I'm doing this show tonight.
Okay.
So this week is Wednesday. Then once you come, we'll get you the information to let you know.
So this Wednesday, Harlem Community Center.
Yes, 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Yes.
Okay, and it's a free lecture.
It's free, yes.
It's free.
We have food usually, coffee, water.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
And for those of you watching, there you go. We hope you enjoyed it. We're going to have them back again to go over more about this so we can be happier and reach more of our goals. Have a great night, and we'll see you on the next episode of A Time for Truth show. Be well.
This show was sponsored by A Time for Truth Foundation Incorporated as a community service.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your feet